If you want to be extraordinary, the regular habits are enough. But if you want to excel, you must have a plan 5 years down the line. If this is not clear, building habits will look like machine work, routine work. There'll be no joy in that. But the actual understanding of a habit is a progressive daily celebration of little joys on your path to success. That's the only way a habit will stick to you. There is aspiration, ambitions, and then there is the goal. Where you intend to reach. This gap is always built only by habits. That resistance will transform as craving to get back into your comfort zone at the earliest. So every day live with 3 goals to accomplish. Once you get up in the morning, have 3 goals. One could be health goal, one could be, one is your motor habit, one is your intellectual habit, one is your emotional intelligence habit. Whenever you set targets that are stressors, it's very likely that you will not achieve them. In the absence of a challenging environment, it's very difficult to, just move without willpower. Most of us drift between all or none phenomena. Want to define clear goals, learn the art of, living without gratification, or even in your goals itself, having realistic goals. There can also be built up fear of failure. That's at the root of procrastination. So what happens is lack of defined clear goals. That's at the foundation of it. Second, so the way to break these bad habits is, or the procrastination as such. Procrastination, if you look at it, at the root of procrastination is the journey actually moves from breaking away from bad habits, building good habits, going to an extraordinary level, and then moving towards success habits. Exercising daily is not, it happens for some time and then you give up on it. So there are bad habits which we know we don't like, and then we go into that loop of self-blame and feeling a little guilty also. So that's the outcome of bad habits. If you consider procrastination as a bad habit, okay, so even categories like there is bad habit, good habit, and success habits.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Rajni KS. She is an educator, she is an award-winning author, she is a biologist, and recently she has become a psychologist now. So we would like to figure out how does she manage all this with great habits she has put in place, and she is also a life coach who helps people build successful habits. And let us try and understand how the whole process goes. Welcome, Dr. Rajni. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you, Dr. Meenu. It means a lot to be connecting with you and having a word with you and sharing my ideas with your audience. Thanks a lot.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. So let us begin with the very first thing. What is your secret of managing so many things at a time? I know you are a mother as well, you are a pet parent, and you do so many other things. How do you do that?
I must say that all of this transformation has happened in the last 2.5 years. Before that, I've also struggled like most people in trying to manage time and, handle all of these multitasks. So I did hit upon this idea of regulating our time with proper habits, and that really caused the shift, dedicating some half an hour to write down things, dedicating another half an hour for self-time, all of that actually helped me. Meaning habits, building the success habits is the secret of whatever I have achieved till now.
That is commendable. So let us begin. According to you, what are those key principles behind creating successful habits?
Yeah. So, I've read at least 15 books on just the habit formation, starting from atomic habits to $1 million habits of brain tracy and mini habits and so on and so forth. So what I have noticed is habits are basically of three types. One is the motor habits. Motor habits are the habits of our daily routine, getting up in the morning, brushing teeth, physical hygiene, folding our clothes, exercise. All of these are motor habits, or including learning and creative artwork, or drawing, piano, music, singing. All of these creative pursuits also come under motor habits. The second kind of habits are the intellectual habits. Intellectual habits are those that, like, reading, writing, building focus, concentration, memory. All of this come under the intellectual habits. And the third habits are the emotional intelligence habits. Emotional intelligence habits are self-awareness, and emotional regulation, empathy. All of this come under the emotional intelligence habits. So if we have a proper balance of all these habits in our life, personally, I feel at the foundation of habit building is the emotional intelligence habits. If your emotions are in place, if you can very clearly understand yourself and others, and then treat the world from a place of acceptance and be in a calm place, you will be then able to do excellently better in your intellectual habits as well as motor habits. So, if you ask me what is the driving principle is fixing your emotional intelligence habits and simultaneously working on both of your intellectual habits and the motor habits. All of us have had this experience in schools and colleges. Like, if you are extremely stressed and if you are worried about your exam and so on and so forth, even when you have read well, you will not be able to give out that wonderful performance when you write the exam. Or even during preparation, you get so tense that you don't learn well. Right? This happens to all of us, or even today when you go to jobs and you are handling stressful situations. Either you give up or procrastinate, or handle it in a very shoddy way, because at the root of it, we've not understood how to handle our emotions, and so the repercussions of it will be seen in our intellectual and motor habits.
Okay.
Okay, so it works if we remain grounded in our emotions.
So I know on the surface level, each one of us want to create good habits. For example, getting up early in the morning, working out every day, going for at least a walk every day, eating healthy, saying no to junk food and outside food, and trying to cook more at home, and many other things. And I know many of us try a lot and we end up successfully doing it for few days, and unfortunately we get back to whatever it was. So as you know what I'm referring to, it's procrastination. There are certain things which we want to do and we feel that okay, we'll do it, and somehow it never happens. So everyone is interested to create good habits, but because of the habit of procrastination we are not able to reach there. So how do we, push our procrastination, or how do we get out of that procrastination phase?
Yes. That's a very good question that you've asked. If you consider procrastination as a bad habit, okay? So even categories, like there is bad habit, good habit, and success habits. Like, bad habits are those that we want to get rid of, but we are not able to. We want to get rid of these habits. It's not that somebody wants to build bad habits. Everybody wants to get rid of bad habits, but they're stuck to us. It could be like, some of them do not have physical hygiene habits. Like, many of them do not even take bath daily, or as you rightly said, exercising daily is not, it happens for some time and then you give up on it. So there are bad habits which we know we don't like, and then we go into that loop of self-blame and feeling a little guilty also. So that's the outcome of bad habits. The other is good habits where, it's like getting up early in the morning, maintaining a journal, gratitude, meditation, all of these are good habits. Of course, exercising, eating healthy, reading, writing, all of these are good habits. But the good habits are some things which will make us good people. Like, from an average level, it will take us to something called as ordinary and extraordinary. Okay. But then the real success or excellence comes when we can build these success habits. These habits actually help us move from this extraordinary benchmark to excellence. That's the place where most of the successful people stay. The 5% of the people who manage too many things and they're still able to put up a smile on their face and manage quite a number of things. All are sports persons and, the successful actors and politicians and scientists and all of them, they fall under that category. So the journey actually moves from breaking away from bad habits, building good habits, going to an extraordinary level, and then moving towards success habits. Root of procrastination is, I can see three reasons. One, lack of clarity of goals. That's the first one. Lack of clarity of goals. Like, everybody wants to exercise, everybody wants to lose weight. There is ambitious targets that you set for yourself. Like I'll be like 45 kgs in this year from 80 kgs, that kind of target everybody sets. And then when the scale does not even move 2 kgs in 2 months, then they give up and then this 80 becomes 82, 83, 84. So what happens is lack of defined clear goals. That's at the foundation of it. Second, there can also be uh, built up fear of failure. That's at the root of procrastination. You try doing something, but if you're not facing success, then you don't feel like continuing that. And then third one is being victims of instant gratification. Instant gratification is you want results there like that. If you, even if you've not completed reading one book in years, when you start reading in 3 days, you must complete a book. You might not have read for your exams for 8 months, but in the last 2 days, you want to finish 100% of the syllabus. Okay, mentally you are sound, you have no other issues, then you can call these three as the foundational reasons. However, the procrastination also happens psychologically. If you look at it, if people are going through depression, anxiety, ADHD, problems like that, then one of the symptoms that is seen is in the form of procrastination. Even when they want to do, they can't force them to do it. When people are in depression, you ask them, for them to build a routine is a very difficult thing. That's why psychologists insist that have a routine, always have a routine. All kinds of people, mentally healthy, mentally unhealthy people, everybody should have a routine. A proper time to sleep, proper time to get up, proper time to eat, proper physical hygiene. These are things that are yardsticks for mental health also. So for procrastination, if you have mental health issues, then you must definitely consult a psychologist and take some talk therapy and find out from a psychiatrist if you are to be given some basic drugs to as mood lifters and things like that to help you get out of that little phase of your life. If nothing like that exists, then you must learn to define clear goals, learn the art of, living without gratification, or even in your goals itself, having realistic goals. And trying to reward yourself on a daily basis. Try to beat that cycle of no gratification to little gratification each day. That's something that you can implement to beat procrastination.
Great. So as you said, it could be because there is lack of clear goal. At least in terms of doing exercise every day or going for walk, I know most of the people who are busy professional, they do have this thought in mind, that clear goal, that okay, I need to work out at least 2 to 3 times a week. And they also have the thought that I need to move the weighing scale from this kg to this kg. Still they end up not doing it. One thing is, maybe whatever is their current habits are, like whatever time they go to bed, whatever time they get up, whatever time they give to screen, and otherwise, that itself has come as a certain routine that it is difficult to break out of that pattern itself, right? So
Yes.
what do you
Yes.
suggest? How do they break their existing pattern? Because I think that is one of the common challenge with many of us.
Beautiful question. To break this pattern, the first thing to fix is your sleep hygiene. Sleep at a particular time, get up at a particular time. That's the first thing to fix. Ideally, sleep at 10:30 and plan to get up at 6 or 5. Up to you. If you have, if you feel energetic by sleeping for 6 hours, then 10:30 to 5:30 would be ideal, or 10:30 to 5 would be ideal. But if you are somebody who wants 8 hours of sleep, then 10 to uh, something like 7, your sleep pattern should be first fixed. That should not be compromised at any cost. Once you fix that pattern, then, have a routine, like, sit and make a plan on your ideal day. Have an ideal day, and essentially on your mind, if you can just clock the 20% of your ideal day, you can be happy, you can pat your back. Most of us drift between all or none phenomena. If we make a plan and a timetable, it must be 100% right. If it is not 100% right, we don't want to make a timetable at all. We in fact feel that timetable is very, very discouraging. So, we'll have to, second thing that you'll have to do is break from all or none phenomenon, because life is a marathon, and progress is going to be slow and little by little. And then you'll have to have some visual references or visual motivations for you to be doing whatever you are intending to do. Like, say, for example, if you are wanting to lose some amount of weight and then feel active or something, it's better to enroll for uh, an challenge that will actually challenge you physically. Like, say, enrolling for a 10K run by paying some amount, and for which, your fitness level should be this, so that you have that kind of a environment or a condition which encourages you or pushes you to do something at that point. In the absence of an challenging environment, it's very difficult to just move with our willpower. Okay. Or you must create those challenging conditions, like, in your family itself, you must say that if you choose, and it's always better to choose achievable goals in the beginning. Like, say, if you want to go for a walk, do not take 10,000 steps in the beginning itself. Just start with 2,000 steps for 1 week. Just 2,000 steps. Every day when you accomplish 2,000 steps, you get into that cycle of rewarding yourself. You feel happy, and then, yes, I've done it. Then add a little more, give a little stretch. Next week, you go with 3,000 or 4,000 steps. When your mind is like this, it will automatically keep encouraging you. When you relax at this level, whenever you set targets that are stressors, it's very likely that you will not achieve them. When you set targets that are achievable, it's very likely that you will surpass them. So, your ambition could be to clock 10K steps every single day, but you begin in a phase. To reach the 10K, take a month, reach the 10K. So when your mind is in that kind of a relaxed state, it will push you every day to do it. And then, when you form a timetable, sleeping pattern and getting up pattern, then, have a beautiful morning routine. That should not be compromised. You must have at least 45 minutes to 1 hour for your own self, where none of your family members are around. Your husband is not asking you for a tea, or your kid is not asking you for please help me with homework or something like that. One full hour for yourself. It applies to everybody, your kid, your husband, your other family members also, where you in your me time, you actually plan out that day in particular. When you have all general goals are perfectly okay. Some days are so that you may not be able to exercise at the time that you stipulate for yourself in your regular timetable. Then, when you sit with 10 minutes and then plan your things to do for that particular day, you will find this to be, you can accommodate it some other time in your day. So every day, live with 3 goals to accomplish. When once you get up in the morning, have 3 goals. One could be health goal, one could be, one is your motor habit, one is your intellectual habit, one is your emotional intelligence habit. Include these 3 things in your life. In your motor habits could be health goal, your intellectual habits could be reading, writing, journaling, or writing gratitude, whatever is that. And then on your emotional health habit, that is something that's like, in being aware of how you handle situations in the day, trying to be happy within and create happiness outside, consciously trying to do that. Okay, so they can be the 3 goals. And when you are putting all of these 3 in balance, it's very likely that you'll beat this cycle of procrastination.
Very insightful. And I'm sure, as you said, that if we have only 3 things in a day to do, I think it is a lot less pressure than making sure that a big to-do list is is given to be completed. And I also like when you said, instead of thinking that, okay, every day you do 10,000 steps, maybe start with just 2,000 steps for a week. Because it's always that kick when you complete something, that sense of accomplishment, sense of triumph comes, that, okay, I decided something and I did it. So rather thinking of a big goal, start small and then slowly and gradually you start building up. Right? That's the way to go.
Yeah, and this is something that I've learned a hard way, like, I have been having a lot of health issues, right? Like 2.5 years, I was a different person. 3 years back was a different person. So I've also, like everybody else, tried the 10K goal, and then, not accomplishing it, feeling bad, self-blame, everything. I went through that cycle for 6 months. Then I decided that I will only take the target of 5K steps. 5K, oh, that 5K is my target. Anything above that is a bonus.
Yeah.
That's a mindset I started living with. And even this 5K, I will break it into 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes sometime in the afternoon after food, and then 10 minutes in the evening, not 30 minutes at a stretch. Okay, so doing this consistently for over a year made my body a little more flexible. And on this International Yoga Day, I could actually accomplish 12 Surya Namaskaras continuously without a break. Okay, all the asanas, only because of this preparation that has gone for 1.5 years before that. Though, if you ask me, is it perfect? Is it ideal? No. If you ask some other sports person who can do it, to them, it's not. But for me, it is a great achievement, because that's why I very clearly tell you, you must define your goals, which are very personalized to you. Take it at your pace. Some things you can take it at your pace. Some things are, you cannot, that's not in your control. Your office pressures, or some things that you have to deliver, whether you like it or not, whether you are in a good state of mind or not, you have to deliver. Those situations you cannot control, but everything else in life you can control. So take it at a pace where you can achieve them, achieve them, achieve them. And when you get into that habit of achieving things, whatever you set, your mind will now be directed to achieve it.
Yeah. So it's like about training your mind slowly to make sure that you get into the habit of that mindset that, okay, if whatever I set, I will attain. Whatever I set,
Yes.
I'll attain, and then take it forward.
Yes. Yes.
Great. You said go to sleep at a particular time and you get up at a particular time. Now, imagine there is a person who is listening to us and he or she would say, okay, let us start. And somehow, if they are in the habit of going to bed at 12 and they say that, okay, let us start going to bed at 10:30. Even though they are on bed, they will fall asleep until 11:30, 12 or so. So is there any way that they can, make a ritual kind of thing so that it becomes easier to, adapt to a new sleeping pattern or a new morning pattern?
Right. See, some people are habitually night owls. Their productivity is best in the nights. If you are somebody who's habituated to see, essentially, what you'll have to have in a day is a 1 full hour for yourself. It could be in the night, it could be in the morning. Okay, if you're a night owl and everybody in your house sleeps by 11 o'clock, you have time between 11 and 12, and you are not mindlessly scrolling your social media, or you're not that person who's hooked on to Netflix series and things like that. If you are somebody like that, then all that you want to do in the morning, you can shift to the night, 11 to 12, where you will actually plan for the next day. You'll actually plan your entire next day's plan and routine, and how you will also self-reflect on how this day went, what went well, what didn't go well, what could be improved upon. And then you also write your gratitude, you practice your meditation, and then you actually do some sleep, play some sleep meditation music, and then you sleep by 12 o'clock. Read also for 10-15 minutes and sleep. That's also a very healthy habit. But if you're somebody who's like, your productive time is in the morning, you know for a fact that you are best in the morning, but you're not able to get up in the morning because you sleep late into the night. If that is you, then, shift your time from 12 to 10:30. And from 10 o'clock only, start getting into that mode of sleeping. That means keep your phone away. Mobile phones today is the biggest distractor in the nights. All of us, I also for a very long time have done that. Uh, because that's one thing that you feel like there's a last thing in the day. Let me just catch up with what's happening on the social media. Let me scroll. Let me see WhatsApp messages, Facebook, Insta, all of these things that are important to you. You try to catch up at that time. And with the screen right in front of you, you try to sleep. And sometimes, this mindless scrolling does not stop at all. It takes like 10 minutes, according to you, is already 30-40 minutes. That you'll only realize later that it's 30-40 minutes. So first thing to do is, if you're planning to sleep at 10:30, keep your mobile phone for charge, arrange your bedroom, dim all the lights, okay? Play sleep meditation music. Sleep meditation music. There are n number of them on the internet today. Okay, so if you are using your podcast, if you've kept your phone for charge for a while, play that music for maybe 1 hour or so, and then try to lie down. So initially, you may take some time. The first day, when you try to sleep at 10:30, you may sleep at 11:30. But one thing I would advise is, if you're sleeping at 12, don't shift to 10:30 today after listening to this discussion. If it's at 12, try to sleep at 11:30 for 1 week. Then at 11, then at 10:30, then at 10 o'clock. And this will take a month. Be prepared for it. But in this month, every week you will fix on a slot. 11:30 this week, 11 next week, 10:30 the following week, 10 o'clock the last week of this month. Building any habit cannot be drastic. When it is drastic, the mind resists.
From 12 to 10:30, don't go like that. It's always
12
5
to
minutes,
10:30.
10 minutes.
Or, I will finish reading 10 chapters today in a book. how many of us, all of us students have resisted that, right? You feel very pressurized during the examination time, and you go write the exam, and the very next minute you forget everything. Enough, I have to download all of this. I have to
Yeah.
get rid of this information. I have to keep my brain empty for the next stress reading. Okay, so any thing that we do drastically is a stress. Even in diets, no, there was this fashion of this GM diet for some time. One day vegetable, one day fruit, one day milk and something, and then
Yeah.
7 days drastically you would lose 3 kgs, and then the next week 2 days only you would put on all of that lost weight. So anything drastic will leave and strong resistance from the mind.
Mm.
And it'll that resistance will transform as craving to get back into your comfort zone at the earliest.
And we give a lot of
And this
excuses
new
for
thing,
that.
yes, and this new thing will look like a battle, it will look like a struggle.
Mm. Mm.
So this language, internal language, will have to change. That half an hour, I'm just preponing it by half an hour, nothing big. Just half an hour. I'm trying just half an hour early. Then the mind won't get stressed. But if you say 10:30, your mind will immediately ask you, can you do this? Are you sure? Then you will heavily bank on your willpower. And willpower is very limited. It is subordinate to your environment. In your environment, if everybody in your house is now used to sleeping late in the night, then everywhere there will be lights, people will be talking, there'll be TV playing. You will also be tempted to come and sit outside. Then your bedroom is also not very organized. So nothing is calm and quiet for you to sleep. So it's not going to be very easy. If you are somebody who has a very private space for yourself, then this will work. If you are living in a big family where everybody else also sleeps late in the night, then it'll have to be taken slowly by actually having a word with other members also in your house that I want to sleep at this time. Encourage me to sleep. So this week I'll sleep at 11:30. Next week 11. You'll have to have a word with them as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask that how do we create that supportive environment? Because what you said, it's very true for many of us. And like maybe kids might go to sleep early, but there are elders in the house or, other adults who have their own sleep timing. Like most of them are night owls. Most of them would finish up their work by 10:30. And then obviously they also want some, me time or what you say that they want to catch up on what's happening on media and here and there, and they lie down and then they scroll phone. So is there an easy way of, making them understand how important it is for them as well as for yourself?
If they are open to you having a conversation with them, you can always tell them. But I've also seen that in Indian households, you as a relationship coach may be a better person to answer that question on how do you handle people around you on on this issue. But especially the elders in the house who have a set pattern, and they are also old enough, they don't want to break. They really want to be relaxed in life. Now they don't want to build any new habits. They don't want too many life years added to their life. They just want to have a very peaceful last few years of their life. That's their mindset. So in such a situation, you'll have to be uh, accepting of the old people in the house. Let them be as they are. Okay. And maybe you can tell them that I need some exercise in the morning. There is some health issue that I'm facing. So I need to work on myself, for which I need to sleep a little early and get up also. I'll be there with you till this time, but later I'll go and sleep. At least for yourself, you might have to speak to them. And everybody's scrolling. We will not be able to stop, because it all depends on how seriously have you taken your life. What do you actually want to do with your life? That's a basic question that everybody should have an answer for. Like, this life that you have, what is it that you want to be remembered as at some another 10 years from now. Students will have to ask themselves this question: what is my goal? What is it that I wish to achieve 10 years from today? And this building these habits, especially success habits, is a journey which is like, which will take minimum 4-5 years. It won't just start today and you'll get success habits. It's not like that. And success also is something like this. Somebody who is very successful in PUC is not successful at their jobs. Somebody who is very successful in their job is a failure in the family. So success is very category based. Success is age dependent. Success is dependent on your definition of what success is to you. Okay, so everybody will have to have an idea about what they want to do in life 10 years from today. And that should be the time period that they'll have to properly plan. Students also, they will not think of what they want to become till they reach 10th standard. Then, in 10th standard, they'll just postpone it to the next year, 11th and 12th. Then when they finish 12th standard, then they'll start hunting. Am I interested in engineering? Am I interested in medicine? Do I want to do something else? Life will not work like that. At 8th standard, you must have an idea about what you're going to do in 12th. Then if you are clear about what you want to do at 8th standard, then 12th standard, you are definitely going to be successful. Because you've worked silently for 5 years in the chosen area of where you wish to excel. If you want to be extraordinary, the regular habits are enough. But if you want to excel, you must have a plan 5 years down the line. Similarly, for middle-aged people, you've already accomplished something. You want to change your career path, or you want to try out something new in your life. You want to shift careers, or you want to have a new identity for yourself. Whatever is that, then you'll have to freshly think on what is it that I want to be 5 years from today. If you do not think like that, every day, even while you're following your habits, you will not be, I cannot assure you that you'll be successful. It could be like that rat running on that wheel, no?
Hamster wheel, yeah.
It's like a machine that is doing all the tasks rightly, and that wheel is also running in the speed, the necessary speed. But I cannot assure you that you are going to be successful. For you to be successful, your goals, what you want to be in five years down the line, should be clear. For which, take a day, ask yourself few important questions. What do you want to be in life? For some, fame may sound attractive. Somebody today, with YouTube being such a big thing, people want to be influencers on YouTube, or they want to be content creators. If that dream is there, then better nurture it for a long time. Know what you want to do in that area. Okay. Or if you want to excel in your chosen profession, you want to be a CEO of a company or director of a company, you want to get promotion, then you'll have to work on a different vertical. Like, you'll have to work on who will be your network, whom are you going to track in your company. Then, what personality change you should bring within yourself to be capable of taking up that new role that you are aspiring for. Are you mentally fit enough to take the level of stress that comes with a higher post? Are you willing to do it? All of these questions, if you can ask yourself, and if you're clear, then building habits is very easy. It's a joy. If this is not clear, building habits will look like machine work, routine work. There'll be no joy in that.
Right. And joy will come when you are progressing towards what you want to become. Then it's an everyday joy, because you are happy that you are making that journey towards whatever your dream or goal is. So I like this association of building new habit is like everyday joy you can identify or attain as and when you build that block. That's wonderful. I hear you say success habits over and over. Can you name some success habits which you feel we must have in order to, experience that joy?
Yes. I can list 12 specific habits, a dozen of them, which are
Mm-hmm.
like a must, or some things that will at least take us from the level that we are in, uh, at least to the level of extraordinary, from where you can break further. First thing is in the motor habits category, getting up early in the morning and having an 1 hour morning routine for yourself. And that morning routine you'll have to work on and choose whatever you want to have in that 1 hour time. Okay, then eating healthy, exercising, having 15 minutes for your hobby. Because just giving your 15 minutes time for hobby is a great way to connect with your inner self, with your creative self. It brings back so much of creativity, rejuvenates you. So every day you have an opportunity for relaxation in your hobby time. And then having sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is very important. Like, you sleep at a time, get up at a time. Don't break your sleep pattern erratically, because it will also have an effect on your ability to focus. You also know, like, you must have also done the gym quick course, so you know how your brain also responds. So they are the 5 motor habits: getting up early, then having a morning routine in the first itself, then eating healthy, exercising, then uh,
15
hobby
minutes
time,
of hobby
sleep
time.
hygiene.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the 5 motor habits. On the intellectual habits, reading is a must. Focus, building focus on whatever you are intending to do, building focus on that. Okay, then memory. Memory is an activity that you'll have to constantly cultivate in your mind. When your kids ask you, what is a molecule, what is an atom? Oh, I don't know, I've studied some time back. I'll go back to the book and read and then get back to you, you might be a doctor, you might be somebody, but the kid asks you, you'll have to go back to check. So that's something that you'll have to definitely work on. So that's another success habit, because the better memory we have, that will always be an adding point in our careers, in our personal life, in whatever profession that we choose. If you can pick up this quote from some book, you are already seen as an authority. So memory is one. Focus, reading, memory, writing. Every day when you write, you'll have to be precise. You can talk as much as you want. You can be even, uh, you can have an error here and there in your talk. But when you write, you'll have to be precise. So writing one ability that builds in precision and focused expression of ideas. Okay, so writing is another intellectual habit to be built. And the last one among intellectual habits is financial literacy.
Wow.
Actually knowing your finances, what you want to do in the next 5 years, what kind of bank balance, and how do you want to intend to grow, what are the steps that you want to have. Having some idea about that is very important. So these are the 5 intellectual habits. Then about the emotional intelligence habits. In that, the 2 basic success habits are self-awareness and self-regulation. That's one category. Empathy and communication
Hmm.
is the second category.
So when we are writing, we are journaling, we are reading, anyways, all that is building up for you to be a better communicator, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you mention
Yes.
here as communication, what more we can add in here in this section?
Yeah. In when you say communication, see, now we are speaking about success habits with
Mhm.
focus on our success.
Right.
All of these habits that we listed, 12 of these habits are going to build our growth. Okay. This communication also, if you have to be successful, Like, you must have read Indra Nooyi's book, like how she communicates with her family members on, like, how when she has to go and take up an extra assignment, how she communicates with daughters and husband and family members. So that from there it starts. How do you communicate at your family? How do you communicate with yourself? Communication is just not what you do with others. It's also
Mm.
about what you do with yourself. You're trying to be successful. You're building a lot of pressure within. You're like a live volcano inside and putting up a calm face outside. It's not going to stay there. It's going to fall off because you're going to lose it at some point. So when I say communication, it is communicating about your dream and taking others also along in your dream so that you build a team around you who will be supportive of your dream and understand your journey.
Got it. Yeah.
That is the kind of communication I'm aiming at here.
Wow. Before I let you go, a couple of questions. People say that you need at least 21 days to start forming a new habit. Is it correct?
No, it's a myth.
Okay.
It's a myth. There's no scientific study that is done. It says 21 days is enough, or 60 days is enough, or 90 days is enough.
Yeah.
Habits, see, habits are also, some habits you form, some habits you break, that there's also a constant learning, unlearning, relearning cycle. Some people are smokers, then they give it up permanently. Some people used to non-veg food and then they give it up when they go to some for spiritual reasons,
Yeah.
and then they don't take it at all in their some people again revert back. They give it for a long time and then they revert back. So about habits, one thing that I wish to say is they are not rigid rules. The misconception with habit is that, whenever people think of habits, they equate somebody very prompt with habits to be equal to a robo, a machine man, a machine human being, getting you at the same time, doing the work, tuck, 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 and then closing the day. No difference between a human and a robo. But the actual understanding of a habit is a progressive daily celebration of little joys on your path to success. That's the only way a habit will stick to you. Like a kid, a child, if you give it colors and then you ask it to do a drawing on a given time, it's willing to stain its entire hand, play on the paper, and then, the next day it'll ask for more paper and more ink. It's not going to say I'm bored and I'm fed up. It will do it for as long as it wishes to do. In fact, I think yesterday I saw an Insta post of somebody who had tracked their drawings from 1 year old, 2 year old onwards up to, like, say, they're like that person is an artist at 23, 24 years. You see the progression of the refined artwork that has happened from childhood to 24 years, and the interest that you build. If you have found your passion at some time in your life, and if you have a 5 year 10 year goal, and in case you hit upon that as your calling, like, say, look at A.R. Rahman, like, he enjoys that entire experience so much that I don't think he'll feel it a pain. In fact, giving it up would be a pain for them.
Yeah, certainly.
Right. So when you understand what is your real calling and you build these habits in support of that calling, then you will see that these are very powerful leads for you to reach there. Because without this, aspirations, ambitions will continue for years. This is the step for action. There is aspiration, ambitions, and then there is a goal. Where you intend to reach. This gap is always built only by habits. And that needs to be refined. In fact, I would say, if you're very keen about on becoming successful, you must really have a coach to monitor you, to think, ask, like, what failed, what needs to be done, what kind of mindset shift is necessary for you to move from this level to the next level.
Yeah.
That'll be
True.
very necessary if you're very keen on your. In fact, you look at every other successful person.
Yes. Everyone
Their
has
success
coach
is
or
directly
mentor.
dependent on the coaches that they have.
Yes. Yes. That's why even all the athletes and all the people who have done miracles in their life, they had mentors, they had coaches around them. Even though they are world's best, they do have coaches. So
Yes,
being
yes,
coach, having a coach is that constant hand or support which any one of us need to move forward.
correct, correct.
And one of such coaches is you. So if people wants to, create or build those success habits, then obviously you are there to help them. And today's lesson was very, very powerful. I really liked when you have mentioned all those 12 habits. If anybody could do it consistently, I believe even for 3 months, they are set. Then probably they want to do it more and more because of the
Yes,
joy they experience when they do it.
yes,
Right?
yes. And before they hit upon trying doing this, they must first answer these questions. What do they want to do 5 years from now? Very often, people hesitate or do a very quick work or a shoddy work with that question.
Hmm.
Even when coaches ask them to do that work, no, they'll do a work without proper self-reflection.
Hmm.
Somebody is a coach, they'll also want to be a coach. Somebody is doing life coaching, you want to do life coaching. Somebody is excellent in that subject, I want to be excellent in that subject. No, you find what you are really interested in. If you
Hmm.
don't know what you're interested in, then I would want you to go through this process of brain dump. Go through this entire thought process. Just keep writing. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling like I'm feeling miserable. uh, Many thoughts come to my mind. I'm interested in this also, that also, this also, that also, but I'm not sure which one to take up for myself right now. uh, when your mind throws out all of this um, clutter in the head, then you can ask the mind, okay, you've put all of this out. Now let us find solution.
Hmm.
Give that one instruction as a switch. When you say, let us find solution, now the mind will say, okay, I will try doing these things for this time and then see if this works.
Hmm. Hmm.
For some of us, we may not hit upon what we are good at till we are like, say, 50, 60, 70 years.
True.
Because you are used to so much multitasking and doing so much of so many things, you might not even know what is your real calling.
Yeah.
That's the tragedy, actually. If you can sit and identify what you're really interested in, and you can invest the time, a little time on that. Like, say, for me, I was always interested in drawing and coloring, just as a little hobby. Okay, then I said, this season, I said, okay, let me, big drawings, watercolor and all will take a lot of time. Immediately, I may not have that kind of a time. And I don't know if it's a real thing or a blind belief or a limiting belief. But I felt, okay, I cannot invest that much time. So I started only doing little uh, cartoon drawing or visual drawing, which is also helpful for memory teaching that I do. So I don't know, like, the light is too bright, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a bit.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see a bit probably cows and
Oh, they're so cute.
things
Yes,
like
I can see them now.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
the faces and diet like that. So we'll have to find out something that is of interest to us and invest that little time if we do not know what we are good at.
Mm. Try out a lot of things and then choose which one gives you a lot of happiness and that joy,
Yes.
as we say. And then probably stick to it along with many other things as we have discussed. Impressive. And I am aware of the fact that you do have training programs you conduct and you help people build this. And if anyone who's listening to us wants to reach out to you, what's the best way?
Yeah, I have my Insta handle, I have my YouTube channel, I have my Facebook page. They can reach out on any of this. or they can DM me on any of these platforms, and I will definitely get back to them. Or they can reach out to you, and through you, I can get back to them. So anything is okay. If they're your audience and they want, they reach out to you, I'll be able to get back. Otherwise, they can follow me on these 3 social media handles, and then I'll definitely get back to them. Or
That
write a mail to me that they would be interested in having the.
sure.
I can share you many things. And I every day support people at 5 o'clock in the morning. I have the Sunrise Symphony Diamond program where I give a call at 4:45, ensure that people get up at 5 o'clock, 5 to 5:30. I ensure that they have this morning routine for themselves. I support them for 3 full months, and then they are on their own. Okay,
Wow.
then I help people also with reading and writing, reading skills and memory skills and things like that, and emotional intelligence habits also. So anybody who is interested in acquiring these for building life and wanting to be successful, I think I'll definitely be of help to them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajni. It was very insightful, and I'm sure audience would have gotten a framework and an idea on how to go about it. And those who really want to, build those success habits, they can definitely reach out to you. We'll put the links in the description box. Thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful talking to you.
Same here, Minu.